Here we are, podcast number. We still cannot count.
It'll be in the description.
Be in the description.
Yeah.
We did not graduate elementary school, so we do not know the numbers at this point.
We have to call a friend to figure out.
We have to call a friend, and we are here with Michael Hamilton and Gentry with Big Bag Outdoors. You see
What's
them
up, guys?
everywhere.
We've been seeing it every. Gentry, what's your last name, man?
Gentry Matthews.
Gentry
Matthews.
Matthews.
The man.
It sounds like a bow. Isn't that a bow?
dude.
Matthews bow?
Like, yep, just like that, but with two T's instead of one. So, but
You gotta be special on us. I get it. I get it.
Hey, me and Pierce always talk about people with special names. Well, I believe in it. Someone with
Yeah,
like
you can't put
unique
me in
names
that. Yeah.
are successful. Or so, Joseph Hicks
Absolutely.
it's not a unique name.
Well, my
Gentry
name.
Matthews, that sounds like an NFL player to me.
That is true. That is true. Well, my name is Pierce. How many people do you know with the name Pierce? And I'm,
Yeah, you got a special one there, Pierce.
oh yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Well, excited to have you guys on. We want to learn really a bit about Big Bag Outdoors. It's really, it's all over everybody's social media. If you're in the bass fishing world, especially, it's all over social media. You guys are doing a tremendous job on the marketing and getting your name out there. But really want to understand, how this all came about, what you guys are doing. Give us some details on that. So, but give us a little bit of background on Big Bag Outdoors.
yeah, absolutely. So, I fished a lot when I was younger. I, used live bait, hot dogs, anything I could put on a hook to catch, bluegill, sunfish, bass, whatever would bite. I wasn't as picky as I am now. So I just had fun fishing, and, I got to give a shout out to my late grandmother. She got me into that. She lived on a lake, and I really looked forward all week long going to school to going to her house on the weekends and being able to go fishing. As I got older, I kind of got away from it a little bit. As a young man, got my first job, started my first business, started building a family. Really was focused on life, but I started to find a little bit of success with other businesses, and I always knew I wanted to get back to that lake house. I wanted to build or buy a house on a lake and, put myself in a position to be able to do that in 2021 and moved to Lake St. Louis here in Missouri. And, once I moved there, got into bass fishing and caught the bug and the addiction that I think all of us have. It, really started diving into artificial lures and really did a lot of kayak fishing. But I remember I was kayak fishing and a guy came through in a bass boat and he cut me off. And I was like, what the heck, man? And he's like,
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
I got a tournament, buddy. I got a tournament. And I'm like, what? And so I go online, I look it up. And there's Lake St. Louis Anglers Club. And they have these tournaments every week. I'm like, I need to get me a boat so I can beat that guy. So
I love it. Well,
So that was kind of the next progression, getting into tournament fishing and started to check that out. And I had a boat that I loved. But a couple years had gone by. Last summer and spring, I started looking for a new boat. I wanted to get a new boat. I felt like I'd progressed as an angler and was ready to take that step and commit a little bit more money financially towards something. And as I started doing that, I realized how expensive these boats have gotten. It's pretty wild, right? It's very easy to get six figures into a boat these days. And so, I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, I love to fish.
right.
I love these tournaments, little home lake tournaments, this and that. But I still might only use this thing 15, 20 times a year. And I make decent money, but I'm struggling to justify this purchase, And so that was kind of the thought process. I had known that I wanted to start a fishing company, but I felt like there was so much of the same stuff on the market from every different brand. Every different brand has a stick bait, a minnow, a spinner bait, this, that, whatever. It's all the same stuff, just slight variations. And from my experience in business, it's tough to differentiate yourself when everybody's selling the same thing. And so, that's where you see a race to the bottom in price and all of this stuff and competitive nature in business. And so I kind of stayed away from the fishing industry because of that. Looking at these boats, I'm like, this is getting ridiculous. Why and how am I going to justify spending 6 figures on a boat to use it 20 times a year?
Right.
But I love to go fast. I love electronics. I love all the stuff that goes into it. But like, man, is this a sound financial investment? What would Dave Ramsey say?
Oh gosh, you need to buy a 1940s boat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I'm like, okay. So I'm struggling with it. I'm actually, sitting on the toilet before I get in the shower in the morning, scrolling Marketplace, like I'm sure all of us have done, looking up boats. And that is where I saw an ad for a company called 8080.
Mm-hmm.
And this company, 8080, what they do is they give away these Lamborghinis or Ferraris or these really high end cars, right? And it's the car of every car enthusiast's dream. It's what's on the wall and a poster as a kid growing up and all of that, right? And so I saw that and I'm like, that's a sick Lamborghini. You buy a t-shirt, you get entered, this, that, whatever. Get in the shower, taking a shower, washing my hair, and it clicked. Like the same problem that the fishing industry has with these boats, that people can't afford them, but the desire is still there. Everybody
Absolutely.
still wants them. Nobody looks at that new Skeeter FXE that they're running all those promos on in blue and thinks, I don't want that thing.
Right.
I think everybody's looking at it like, that's awesome.
That's what I want.
But you look in the comments and everybody's like, this is too expensive. I can't afford this. It's just out of grasp for the everyday angler.
Mm-hmm.
And so it clicked in the shower. I got out of the shower. I had the shampoo in my hair still, and I pulled my phone back up and I started searching to see if anybody had done this yet in the bass fishing industry and kind of applied this, marketing and strategy to this industry. And so I found Randy Howell does an annual boat giveaway with his boat. The proceeds go to charity, and that's an awesome thing. It is different than this business model, though.
Yes.
And so I didn't find anybody doing this, right? So the seed was planted there, and I kind of got to work talking to friends I fish tournaments with, talking about making baits, started learning about making baits, started, on web design and building out the website with the help of others. And we really kind of began that process July of last year. We identified a few different key items that I think are great sellers in the industry, stuff that I would want in my boat or that I would want to use on tournament day. We tried to really look at products from the perspective of, what are some of the must-have essentials that, people are buying and replacing frequently. And that's kind of how we came up with our original product launches. And yeah, just got to work from there. So hopefully that's not too long a winded answer to how this company came about, but that is some of my backstory and how I came up with the idea to launch.
So when you got out of the shower, did you yell to your wife, "I'm about to spend $1 million. I've got a great idea"?
And then she says, what are you doing here?
Yeah. I think a lot of people, that I told early on when it was a concept were like, just could not understand it. And I think still today, a lot of people don't necessarily understand the vision or how we're doing this or, the details, but that's the vision. That's the goal, is to be able to provide people an opportunity to get the boat of their dreams, that has all the bells and whistles, the latest tech and this and that for something that they would be buying anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you got it in a time where that one tournament was a fluke down in, was it Florida or something, dual threat.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Right.
was kind of there was a little bit of controversy going on in the industry, some talk like, well, am I going to pay this money and not get anything? There was some of that going on.
Yeah.
About this, but it's still now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. But that was big. That was big news. Kind of same with us when we started this. I think people thought, "What?
Yeah.
There's no way. I ain't gonna give these guys $25 for. I ain't gonna get nothing."
Right.
Well, the same thing with you guys. I mean, you look at what you guys are doing is insane. To somebody just normal fishing, you're right. There's really nothing out there that's doing, or nobody's doing what you guys are doing. So it's a brand new concept of like, all right, I'm gonna buy a T-shirt, I'm gonna buy a cool hat, these baits I'm already gonna buy, and then I get entered to win a boat. Like that sounds too good to be true,
Right.
know? But you guys have given away. I mean, how many boats have you guys given away at this point?
So far, we've given away 3 boats so far. This is
Plus the 2 kayaks.
plus the 2 kayaks.
Nice setup.
Very good setups that cost a lot of money.
Honestly, if I'm being honest, if we ever do the mini giveaways, like odds to win, enter during those.
Yes, you have the best odds to win.
We set those up in the middle of the campaigns when things are kind of slowing down. There's not as much excitement. When
Right.
we announce a new boat and we end a boat, that's when there's a lot of excitement. But
A lot of hype during that time.
we try to sprinkle some fun stuff in throughout. And, this last kayak, you could go compete on the Bassmaster Kayak Series with no problem. So
Easily. I mean,
And that's an upcoming sport. I mean,
Mhm.
it's become quite a bit, not bigger than with the fiberglass boats and all that, but it has become very popular because of the cost.
Yeah.
Right.
it has.
Eighth of the cost of a bass boat.
Yeah.
Heck, those things are getting expensive now too, though.
Yeah, you
I mean,
get 20 grand into a
Yeah.
kayak pretty easily. It's
Blink.
wild.
and you're 20 grand in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
It's insane.
how'd you get with Hambone? I mean, this has got to be under the bridge. Mike was holding the sign. I'll do anything to fish. And
yeah, that's me.
Yeah, so like personally, I'm relatively shy on camera. Like I'm not in a lot of our ads. I'm starting to do some of that stuff. I'm trying to walk through that uncomfortability and like push myself out there more, but I struggle with it if I'm being honest. And
He's
so
doing a great job.
in the beginning it was like there has to be somebody that, is that face that has such great energy and understands the vision and what we're trying to do and the value in what we're doing and all of those things. And so talking to some of the Lake St. Louis guys, there was a common thing. Everybody said, you got to get with Mike Hamilton, you got to get with Mike Hamilton, you got to get with Mike Hamilton.
That's crazy.
Some multiple people kind of pushed me in that direction. So I reached out to Mike, I sent him a message, and I'll never let him live it down. He left me on red. Dude, he wouldn't message me back. He kept reading the damn messages. He wouldn't message me back. And I don't remember what it was, but I think you saw Tom Herndon at Bass Pro.
I ran into Tom Herndon at Bass Pro. I come around the corner and I go, man, I explained to him this situation. I said, dude, and it's not a shot at anybody. I said, I don't really want another empty sponsorship. And what I meant by that is, you go out, you put a lot of stuff out there, you put your neck on the line, and, you do have to earn your way. I don't want to say it in a derogatory way, but you do so much and there's nothing that ever comes back from it. And, Tom goes, well, I can guarantee you this. Gentry is not that. And this might be something bigger than what you may know. So I had read Gentry's messages and I'm like, man, some of this sounds too good to be true at first, because I mean, it is. It's like, wow, I don't know Gentry, and now I know, like, we're like brothers. It's amazing, our relationship that we have. I mean, we go through all of the stuff that friends go through, but like, I'm just saying, like,
There's a stranger sending you a message
Yeah.
like, hey, do you want to come build this thing with me? Like,
I'd never heard
You
of
know,
Big Bag
so-
Outdoors. I'd never heard of this and the concept and all of the stuff. And then, I just listened to, as you know, I'm a man of faith. I prayed on it and God just kept pushing me in this direction. And I'm like, okay, let me hear this man out. Let me hear what he has to say. And thus, a meeting in his office, I think we hit it off. I like to talk. So it was probably like a whole day worth of a meeting. He probably was ready to kick me out the office, but he never got to that point where he was like, all right, I'm done. Go. It was like, no, we just hit it off. And when he pitched a vision to me in person and I could see the passion that was behind what he was saying and feel all of what he was saying. And we sat down and we prayed together about this. that did it for me. You know, it was one of those moments that you have a once in a lifetime, where it's meant to be. At that point in time in your life, this is it, and I could stand behind this vision 100%. I see this man put every asset of his up each and every day because it is not easy. A lot of people think we have investors, we have all of these people backing us. No, this man does it with his own. Like, he puts it all out there, he puts it on the line, and he pays all of this stuff. So, it is very personal for us. It is very deep for us. You watch somebody put their neck on the line for this company, and I put mine out now because I believe in what we're doing. I see the people, seeing the winners, seeing people's lives change, and them having an opportunity, because I came up from humble beginnings. I didn't have a lot of people, to pay my way. I had to work my way through, and always was a dream to have a bass boat. And I started manifesting that. And it was easy to jump behind this whole concept, this whole vision, because I see so many kids out there that want to have a bass boat but can't afford it. So why not pick up a bag of baits and automatically get entered to win whatever our current giveaway is? It's truly a blessing to be a part of this company.
Yeah, well, that's
I
cool.
don't take a second of it for granted.
Yeah, that's cool. You got in touch with Mike because, background Mike, I filmed Mike on the fishing and, Solo Pro and all that. And then I don't know if I told you directly, but I told probably you and my wife. I said, man, I can't imagine someone, not picking you up.
Yeah.
I know sponsorship's hard, but there's certain people that just have that niche.
Yeah, they have it. I mean, we think about it all the time. Like, we think about personalities and bass fishing, especially. Not knocking anybody, but your typical, especially Ozarks angler, is very much, you show up to a weigh-in, and it's how'd you catch him? Black and blue jig. Spinnerbait. And it's like, you're trying to, from a media perspective, it's like you're pulling teeth on, like, man, let's make it a little bit more of a production. Like, let's make it look cool, and and whenever we, especially with you, Mike, it's like, man, I know Mike's coming up, and we're talking, like, we're gonna talk, we're gonna have a real conversation. And I don't know, I think a lot of businesses, especially with my business, we look at sponsoring folks and this and that. It's like, we look at that as a real asset.
Yeah.
And obviously, Gentry, you did too.
Oh, shoot, I got in trouble all the time. So, I wish you quit filming Mike all the time. I'm like, well,
he's
nobody
a dog,
else is
man.
going to talk.
Yeah, he's a dog. So, he can't fish, but he's a dog. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not good at that at all, guys.
Yeah.
He's a dog. No, that's very humbling, and it's very flattering to hear that, man. I'm just blessed by the favor of God in my life. And, I always used to watch all of the guys, all of the real deal pros, like, getting to meet Scott Martin just recently. And I used to imitate those guys as a kid coming up to, like, what if I always had these elaborate dreams of when I hold up my 5-fish limit in front of those, the stand, and not being afraid to talk about it and actually living that dream. Dude, I always wanted to see it come to reality. And now that I'm older, that some of that may have passed, but it's still, like I said, you guys, Solo Pro, all of the features, all of the tournament circuits here I treat them like my Bassmasters. Gentry's shaking his head no, because he's gonna push me. But I mean, it is very flattering. I always want to stay humble, and thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. Because to be honest, Joe and Pierce, you guys were the first ones put me on a platform in a tournament circuit to give me that platform to speak. So I never will forget where I came from. And I just can only thank you guys and the Solo Pro staff and Russ so much, because you guys were putting us out there and giving us all of that angler promotion. And it was up to the anglers to do what they had to do with it. But I knew if I had that shot, I was going to try and show out, baby.
Yeah, you did. Well, you need to calm down more, though.
Yeah.
You guys need to make merch, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I don't think Gentry knows about that. You'd have to fill him in on that one.
Oh, Gentry doesn't know about it?
No, he doesn't know about that.
He better not know about it.
No, I think it's a good one to
Not
tell. You
fired
tell
yet
it.
or something. Yeah.
I love how Joe tells it.
I was filming him on Lake of the Ozarks, and what I do is take my phone, film him, blah, 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 and he was, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you know how Mike is when he gets jacked up with a 1.2 pounder. I mean, just so
It's a giant.
It's a giant.
It's a giant. And then I posted it right after that, and a guy, I was looking through the comments, and a guy said, "Man, he needs to calm down." I don't remember if it was the next fish or something. You go, "That's why I don't calm down. I'm not going to calm down." And I mean, the comments just blew up, and everybody said, "We need a T-shirt."
I love it.
Had no chance to catch. I think it was what was his Ryan Tucker. I had no chance sitting in second going into day 2 of that championship. I had no chances of catching him, but I knew I had to bring it day 2. And when my 1.2 pounder, got on there, I couldn't hold it back, man. I was like, I'm trying to shoot for this, At that point in time, I'd watch other people walk across the stage and win and just wanted to just place in the championship. I was always pretty consistent for us AOY, but I wanted to win. And, like we talk about manifesting things, taking second and that championship was the biggest motivation to what transpired last year, winning a championship. And dude, it all starts somewhere. You all have you have to have a dream, just like Gentry having a dream, getting out of his shower, going back and forth. These dreams you have to manifest and bring them to life. And I mean, the good Lord always said, speak it into reality. So that's what we're doing with a lot of this.
Yeah, I agree. What's your top? You got top selling baits that you consistently see.
Take a guess.
Grandma hot
I
dog
swear,
out there yet?
The urchin, the quickie.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Bring it on in, Gentry. Bring it on in. Ooh, they got swirly eyes in the video right now. Ooh.
No, what's the name of
routine
that?
is crazy, and it's a craze, and it's a trend. Scott Martin just did a video. Is it here to stay? Is it going to go? We don't know, but it's our job to stock them and offer them. So,
Sell them,
it's doing great. We just launched the 24 millimeter size. So that's like more in line with the full cast, larger size Kayak. So those I expect to do pretty well. They're off to a strong start. They're selling 2-to-1 to the 19s.
Absolutely.
In the first week of sales. So,
and I mean, guys, literally, that's what we're talking about. I know a lot of everybody is always, and I don't mind if Gentry doesn't mind. I'd like to elaborate on this. This is the hot seller right now. I know everyone is designing one of these right now. Just like when the Cinco came out, everyone was designing a Cinco. I know we get a lot of comments on things and people of that nature saying that we're copying baits. Well, we're there. You go down to Owl and Bass Pro, you're going to see 10 of the same lure from every different brand.
It's wild.
We're unique, guys. And what we want to do is it's in our marketing strategy. We're trying to, you buy this, you got a chance to win in a boat. Who else is doing that? That's where we take our pride in it. We know what works. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. That's it.
Hey, a stick bait catches fish and it's caught fish for 30 years, and every company sells a stick bait.
Absolutely. And shout out to the innovators that do. I'm not trying to take anything away from those. From
artistry and incredible, and that's definitely been some of the comments. You talk about comments. We get fired up from the comments.
Absolutely. Calm down.
You mentioned like early on this is a scam and this isn't real. Now it's you guys got the same baits as everybody else, and it's like, well, we knew that was the case from the beginning. That's why we're doing the giveaway and all this stuff. But okay,
and then we're also being unique. We know a lot of the companies use a lot of salt in their plastic salt, and we're trying to do it. I really believe this as an angler and hand pouring baits in my basement, and have done this before. That when you're not using salt, you get some of the best lifelike action. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to start a big old argument between the anglers going, well, you need salt and you need this. Certain baits do need salt, like a slick stick, Cinco, those things that have a fall ratio that need to fall. Yes, those may need them. But some of your baits that you're dragging along the bottom, if you want to get that good secondary action, I'm not afraid to tell you. We do this on purpose so we can get the best lifelike action out of our baits. So when you see a Sakamata shad with all of the salt, opposed to a Guyataku shad from Big Bag Outdoors, ours will have a little bit more rolling action because it's fighting the flotation of no salt. If that makes any sense. That's what. Scent too. Hold on. We're gonna roll right into that too. That was a trip up on purpose. Great segue. You know, the scents that we have developed by Strike Force. We have partnered with Strike Force and they make our scent. The secret sauce, dude.
There's like their logo, Strike Force. They're on all our bags. Jay Beppa, awesome guy.
Awesome guy. First guy in the Ozark community to really give us that collaboration. You know, I know it's hard when you're a new company and you're coming out there, and we're seeing this firsthand. A lot of people are timid to work with us because they don't know, you know, is this going to be around? Is this a scam? And right now, you know, when someone puts their neck out on the line and they partner with you and do a certain thing with you, we got to shout out Jay Buffa and Strike Force and hit on those talking points because it is very hard. And shout out to the Ozark community, period. Whether you work with us or don't, we're all in this game together. The bigger this industry gets, the more people involved. We're not against you. I want to say that loud and clear. We're not against you. We want to work with anybody who wants to work with us as long as it's feasible within the means of what we're trying to do, because we are really trying to give that vision and push that vision to those people that don't have the opportunity to maybe go buy a bass boat. We're talking about giving 10 to 12 boats away a year.
Yeah, we're definitely a very collaborative company and you know, have that in mind, and are always looking for more opportunities and people to partner with in different ways. Sorry I was a little late to the call, but I was on a call about a collaboration we're super excited about. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're definitely there. I would like to rewind a little bit and talk about salt.
Yes, go right into it.
If you guys are open to that.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I have a question for you guys. What is the purpose of salt in baits?
I've always thought it was the fall rate.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I was in lure manufacturing, but I was mainly on the lead side. So
Mm-hmm.
the salt or the soft plastic, I'm not sure, but I always thought it was the
I
fall
thought it
rate.
was fall, is what I thought.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I was always taught in the beginning that it was part of a fish biting it and holding on a little bit longer.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah,
fall rate, biting it.
Is there any other things other than those two that
I've
salt
heard
benefits to a bait?
I've heard the scent, but I don't buy that one at all. But
The scent of salt?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
So, as like a attractant?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
that's
more
just to get that second split longer.
Or a
hold.
cover scent, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Again, mainly the one that I will actually buy is the fall rate.
That's
Fall rate. But
Yeah.
really only when fished weightless is the fall rate important.
Like Cinco's.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like a single.
The other thought is like let's say you're on a shaky head, just using a Cinco. You're on a shaky head. It'll fall like this, but that's like an upright isn't necessarily natural. Having it at about this angle, so it'll fall this, and then being able to use that, But again, a lot of that
standing straight up.
Yeah,
Definitely with a Cinco.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I've ever heard.
But yeah, mainly that would come down to the jig head as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's just a big conversation we've had internally,
Yes.
and it's been debated amongst staff, and
Yeah, we've debated
early on, like I really pushed for salt in certain baits, and we've made, we can make baits with salt, but from a production standpoint, it's about deciding what baits benefit from salt,
Absolutely.
and then what baits does salt actually hurt, and it increases the tear rate, or makes the bait a lot less durable in certain situations. And in certain situations, you want that bait to stand up.
Yes, you do.
Like if it's got some crawl arms, or if it's
a big magworm. We would want that to stand up and have all that secondary action as a bass swims up on it and the water displacement happens and that moves.
Versus
We're
just like laying flat on the
just
bottom.
laying flat on the bottom.
Yeah,
you know?
so I mean, we're all tournament anglers here. It's like, I don't know if you guys know, but we've got Kyle Hopping and
Yes.
some college kids that fish for McKendree that we work with and are here on a regular basis. But
Shout out
pretty
to
much the
Kayak.
whole staff is really deep into tournament fishing and competitive fishing, and what makes a product good and what not. But yeah, it's been a touchy thing. I just did an ad that had said, we don't use salt or any other cheap fillers, because some of these companies that are putting 30% salt in their baits are really cutting costs more than anything.
Wow, that's interesting.
Are they putting that in there 30% more? I might get into controversial topic, but if you put salt in it and it deteriorates your baits, now I got to go buy more baits. Is there would that be a reason something would go?
Do it. It's by design.
Yeah.
Well, we just rather pour it in a little softer plastic. So yeah, if it rips, but you're getting the right action, and I still believe that that's more durable than what we've seen with other salt bait.
Mhm.
You
That's a
know,
good topic to
I mean,
keep
think
on
about
the salt.
the best in the game. I got to give credit where credit's due. Best in the game, Gary Yamamoto, come out with the Cinco. It's the best. Everybody still to this day tries to figure out how they make it.
Mhm.
They're best in the game at that. They made it. But you throw a Yamamoto Cinco, how fast that sucker rip?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you barely put that rubber piece
You
on there.
barely put the rubber piece on that thing rip.
yeah, you
Big
can't
catch fish though.
Yeah.
You got to give credit where credit's due.
Right.
Like
Yeah, and that's the goal, is to catch fish. I think like that's priority number one. But some of these products on the market, we can identify like that product doesn't really need salt, and overall from the action on a jig or wobblehead or Carolina rig,
any of those
Like-
type of things.
no salt benefits the bait and the action more than it
Nope.
having salt. And so really the salt's there to increase the tear rate, lower the production costs, and increase the volume that they can sell.
Definitely
That's my
now,
opinion, and
what I
definitely
see
now
in
that we know we have sense to add to them nowadays that can get poured into with the plastisol to make the bait. So now we're not making the excuse of a bait having salt just for flavor
fish to hold on.
to hold on to it.
No, they're holding on to it because it tastes like crawdads that they eat.
Yeah, really what you're trying
Smells
to
like it.
accomplish with it
Tastes
is
like
just
it.
to have
Yeah.
the bass hold on to the bait a split second longer. I mean, we look at Power Bait and Berkeley at what they have done and what they have achieved with all of their infused baits and stuff like that, dude. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. We're not here throwing shade at anyone. We're just saying, we're just wanting to show you how we're different, why we're being different, why we put these heads together. All of us put our heads together and hash this stuff out to really give the best product that we can give as a company.
Yeah.
And that's where we're standing on this. I mean, day in, day out, we text each other back and forth, disagree, back and forth about the baits and what we do. But that's how you get a great product at the end of the day. I may want salt in some things. I may not want it in anything.
Mm-hmm.
He may want it,
There's certain things that I agree. Like,
Yeah.
it could benefit for sure. But I think most of the time, when you're fishing a bait that's weighted, the action on the bait can be better without salt.
Absolutely.
And with scent, those do a better job of attracting fish and them holding on to the bait much more effectively than salt does. So,
Absolutely.
And customers are relying on you to do that. We're out here buying that $8 package of bait going, I hope this is the one that's going to win it for me. So we're relying on you
Absolutely.
guys to test that and go, that's why we do this. And be like, hey, man, I caught more fish on your
100%.
guys' bait than I did anybody else. Because, all of us are going to be like, not going to tell Pierce that I caught 25 pounds on your bait, but I'm going to buy $2,000 worth of your bait because I know it's good. And
Exactly.
all of us out here relying on you guys, this expert, because not knocking big companies, but they're going to produce 1 million of these jigs. whether they're
Well,
good or not. And
I mean,
I
we
think you
saw
get
it in,
shareholders in some
Yeah.
of these companies,
Yeah.
and you
we
get
saw it.
stock
We saw
prices,
it.
and you get profit margin that you need to hit, and revenue targets. Otherwise, the stock goes down in value, and eventually, some of these companies are less about fishing and more about keeping their investors happy. You know,
And that's what happens a lot of the time.
like we're not going to throw any shade specifically, but there's a lot of private equity firms that own a lot of businesses in the space, and so
We ran into that a lot in just the lead manufacturing, jig heads and things like that. I mean, you look at the quality, and again, not knocking any big brands, but you look at the quality of a big brand compared to a relatively local brand or
Mhm.
even just American made. I mean, there's not a lot, there's a few pretty big manufacturers here in the States, but you look at a product that's mass made on, again, not knocking them, but made overseas. And then you look at the same type of bait that was at least manufactured here in the States. 9 times out of 10, there is a giant difference in quality. And again,
Right.
if you're looking at a jig, for example, if you're looking at a jig to just, hey, I'm not super particular, it's like, yeah, you can go use that jig that was made overseas. But a big thing for a lot of the serious tournament anglers is we know who's manufacturing it. We know that they're, on top of it, they're testing it over and over, and they have the passion of, I know I'm going to make this for an actual bass angler and not, I need to just maximize my profits.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And we all care. Like, we're not saying that we will always reconvene and relook at what works and what doesn't work. That's the cool part about what we're doing. We're not knocking everybody for salt or anything like that. We're just saying that we found certain different ways to do this and be different.
Mhm.
Give you a bait that may be similar to that bait, but guess what? It's a little different.
Mhm.
So, that's all we're trying to do. We're anglers testing. We're angler tested. We're doing this. We all have the passion. We love what we do. I love bass fishing. I eat, sleep, breathe it. Have since I was 7 years old. So, when it comes down to it, I'm not going to give you something that I don't want to use myself.
good point. Because you're out there to win, Mike. So you're not going to just go, I'm just going
No,
to produce.
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
proof right there. Mike's going to produce a bait that makes you be able to win a tournament. I mean, that's proof right there.
I mean, it could be me or K Hop. It could be Gentry. Any of us. We all put
Yeah.
our hands together.
We want to make stuff that we want to use, and
Yeah. We're excited
I don't
about
know
it.
if you guys know Mike. Mike's into bougie fishing tackle. I'll be honest. The reason me and Mike hit it off so well is because I am too. It's ridiculous. It's a sickness and an illness. I don't know what it is, but we love all the Japanese stuff and
Dude.
high-end rods and reels, and
Absolutely.
all these. If it's hard to get and it's new and it's a different design, we're trying to get it.
We're trying to get
Now, are you guys, I do have a question. Do you guys manufacture, up in St. Louis, or are you using,
Yeah,
what
we
does that look
manufacture here at our
Absolutely.
facility in O'Fallon. So we have a 10,000 square foot warehouse here in O'Fallon, and we manufacture all of our baits. And we just, as of maybe a month ago,
Yeah.
once we moved into this space, we started hand tying all of our own jigs.
Yep.
So they're custom colors, round rubber, mixes of different types of rubbers into the jigs. We're playing with some other stuff I'm going to talk about too
Not
much.
just yet, but it's coming. There's stuff coming.
Yeah, we're hand tying all of our own jigs now as well. So.
That's
Dude,
cool.
that's huge.
Yeah, we're really trying to push it all the way to the max.
Another topic, if you can speak on it, because you're going to get flooded with this. Person A, B, and C calling you up. Hey, can I get sponsored by Big Bag Outdoor? I'm sure you're starting to get that.
It's happening.
Then guys emailing like, what? You have a procedure? You got are you in that world of I'm going to, or you look at it certain ways? Because people are going to ask, younger anglers, everybody's going to
For
ask.
sure, yeah. Shoot us a DM. We work with a ton of guys. We sponsor a bunch of people. We have different levels of sponsorship based on where you're at as an angler. If you're an Elite Series pro reaching out to us, that sponsorship package is going to be a little bit different than the high school guy, right? But we want to work with both. We're not turning people away. We're going to look at the type of content that you produce.
Absolutely.
We're going to look at what you do. Do you win? Are you stick? Are you out there catching DDs down in Texas or Florida, like what sort of value can you provide? And then what kind of value can we provide for you? But we work with some great guys right now, and we're talking to a couple people I'm really excited about. So
It's like you guys said, to piggyback on what Gentry just is saying right there, and I think this is really big for younger anglers as they're coming up. Learn how to be marketable. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to know that you are here, you're gonna have to sell a product. I'm just gonna give it to you cut and dry. I come from this world, understand what it is. You have to be marketable and don't come expecting handouts. You're gonna have to work. Everything is work oriented. So when you bring your portfolio, if you have some things like you have a YouTube channel, what do you have? What are you bringing to the table instead of sometimes just being a stick isn't enough anymore these days.
Right.
You have to have the personality, the smile, the charisma, that energy that you want to bring to be infectious to other people. And it's bigger than just you being good anymore, because we know a lot of people that are really good anglers, but if you talk to them, they don't want to talk. They tell you at the stand a black and blue jig.
Yeah.
Just to circle back around, I'm just telling you this because this is what matters in this day and age. The market, as we know, is very saturated. Everybody wants to have a YouTube channel. Everybody wants to do this stuff. But what makes you different? You got to find your niche.
Yeah, and I think being marketable isn't just sit up straight, get your shoulders back. I think it's, be yourself, have that personality, embrace that personality, and create a character, that's yourself, but
Absolutely.
like embrace it. Don't shy away from it and try to be something you're not.
Even if you're controversial.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody's going to find value in you.
Yeah.
So be you, like Gentry was saying at the end of the day, be you and just be marketable. Just be you, be happy. Don't get all caught up in what you think you have to be for somebody else. Be yourself and just live it to the fullest. But with that being said, don't come to the table expecting everybody to just hand you something, because it doesn't work that way, guys. You got to work for it. You really
Are you venturing out into the rod business, or is that something you gotta,
No, not at this moment. The challenge. I know there's some stuff going on, but that's kind of their thing. So I'm not going to speak on it. And, but as far as where we're at right now as a company, we're not, and it's not necessarily something that we're considering in the present moment. But I'll say that everything is on the table with this company in Big Bag Outdoors. We have certain revenue numbers that we have to hit. We have the cost of these boats. We have the warehouse here in O'Fallon. We have the staff, payroll. We have to hit revenue. And so if at a certain point we determine like that could be something that helps us increase our revenue or help with the AOV or some of these different KPIs, it's something we would consider. But really our goal is we want to make great baits. We want to make more baits. We want to sell more baits. That's really our primary focus.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I like it too.
I love it, guys. Well,
I got one last thing.
Shout out to Fat Bass Challenge, dude. A lot of people got to get into that.
I got one last thing. Pierce don't know this, but we're gonna sponsor Mike Hamilton. But he's got to drive this. This is what he's got to fish out of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
The wheels to the lake already, baby.
Yeah.
Heck, I'll fish on land and get right there with it.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. That's awesome.
I would love to see
You
that.
don't even need a truck. You don't even need a truck.
Really,
what do you think would happen if you just like 40 miles an hour just straight into the wall? Like, do you think you got to set up and stuff, or you think you can just launch it? Like,
I think you just full send
it down the ramp.
They call your number during takeoff. You just come straight from. You ain't got to sit out there on the boat. You come straight from the parking lot. Just hit that ramp and get to rolling.
And when they
ain't
say
nothing but a 40 horse on that sucker, but you getting it.
No, we'll put 250 on it for you.
All right, that'll work, baby. That'll work. Yeah.
Well,
Fat Bass
wanna
Challenge,
keep
you guys are
we know you
awesome, man. If people don't know what's going on with you guys, like, I will say it for you guys, man. You guys get in any tournament that's sanctioned by those guys. You have a shot at, what is it, $500 for winning a month?
Yep, and $500 for
Angler of the Year.
Angler of the Year, but we haven't.
Oh,
We
my
need, we
goodness.
need a name. Fat Bass of the Year. Chris Dick Herper said that Fattest Bastard of the Year. That's what he wanted.
I like that. That's funny. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. Fat Bass Bastard of the Year. That's dope, dude. 25 bucks gets you into.
Yep, and as the entries grow, I mean, we think we'll be able to pay more than 1 month. At least we think we'll be able to pay a little more soon. But we're not making any money off of it. So
yeah, that's the thing is it's all an investment. We have a similar passion to you guys of just we want to give back more to the anglers. We want to get anglers more into tournaments and that sort of stuff and all of that. So yeah, but excited for you guys. Excited, I think I really appreciate you guys coming on, and we might be hitting you up sometime soon. I think there's a partnership in some capacity with you guys. So
Absolutely, man.
want to chat with you guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
We're
Well,
so
you guys head to
grateful.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys head to your meeting and sell a bunch of baits. Let's go, Big Bag Outdoors. I love it.
Let's go, man.
All righty. See
Thank
you guys.
very
Thank you
much.
guys so much.
All right, absolutely.
ya.
See you guys.